Helix tutorial part 2, troubleshooting, where to start. So, probably just watch the video, but index finger out, doing a thumb rollover, index finger out, over, bringing it across, catching it with your thumb, letting it twist between your thumb and your index finger, performing the rollover, not getting bit, and then either bringing it across or just bringing it straight up. So all of my tips at the end or the description of the my thumb rollover video apply here because they're just all rollovers. You know, you have to throw it and keep your hand still. So like it's good to get a basic rollover down first before you try this, obviously, since it's 3 rollovers. So you're gonna be bringing it here, and you can learn this. That's the easy way to learn this. I mean, this is kind of common sense, but you just break it apart into its pieces and perform one piece at a time. So you can do this down, index finger out, index finger over a million times. Roll over, index finger over a million times. Roll over, index finger out, index finger over, until you get very, very smooth and very natural at it. The same goes for the other parts. You don't have to do the first rollover. You can start here and you can just do that. I mean, that's the motion of the second rollover, and that's practicing it right there. You don't have to do it horizontally. I know I didn't when I started. A friend of mine didn't when he started. What makes a helix look pretty is when you do everything, and was a little ugly there, but when you do everything as close to this one plane as possible, so it's just like spinning on this plane, looks really cool. What you can't do when you're starting is you perform the first thumb rollover like at this angle, and then you perform the second one, the finger rollover, at this angle, and then the third one at this angle again. And that's okay, and that makes it a lot easier. You're just bringing it up like that. So that motion. This transition is very, very tricky, as I've already stated multiple times. Even though I said in my tutorial, grab it and twist it, let it twist, that was to help you learn. That was to get you started, because you're not going to be doing that transition when you start. Or maybe you can. Maybe you're just really good at it. I don't know. All I know is that I was not very good at it when I started. So, you're going to catch it here. And really what you're doing is, if you don't want to catch it, you want to be all one fluid motion, which took me a really long time to do. It's a transition that's much easier to do in a series of rollovers called Behind the 8 Ball, which I will be doing a video on, and that is the best way to practice it. But what you're doing is, so perform the thumb rollover, you're here, you're here. What you really want to do is, you don't want to stop it with your thumb. It's spinning like this. It's spinning this direction, and what you're really doing is you're wrapping your thumb around it. So it's still on your finger, but you're wrapping your thumb around it, and you're performing a little switch. Just in a split second, just going from here. You're not stopping it, you're not grabbing it and letting it twist. You're not doing any of that. You're just wrapping your thumb underneath it so that you don't affect its momentum at all. Okay? And then it'll bring itself around and bring it down. And then I talked about ways to not get cut. One thing I didn't mention is catching it lower down on the handle. If you catch it lower down on the handle, it has this much to travel. Okay? If you catch it up here, it only has to travel this much before it starts cutting you. So if you can perform that, if you can intentionally catch that last rollover later on the handle, it will keep you from being cut if you're running into a lot of problems with that, if it's cutting you a lot at the very end. So there you go, some troubleshooting on the Helix.